got me feeling some way. Baby, it ain't that right. You ain't got control of me, so you should just go find someone that'll take good care of the needs that I don't quite meet. Not being rude, you just need to make your mind.
Welcome back to another episode of I Am Beautifully Broken, where we discuss mental health, self-love, and self-worth. I'm your host, Lamekkiona. All right, you guys, so today we have a special guest by the name of Jojo. Are you excited?
So we've been planning this for so long and it's finally happened. So I'm excited to finally do it.
Y'all, we literally have been planning to meet up, have this talk for over, like a month and a half? It's really been...
Like 2 months.
No, for real. It's been a minute. But we finally able to get this conversation started. I'm so excited to have you today. You are actually my first male guest, so that's big.
Listen, I'm happy to be your first male guest, so it's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. And in alignment of Mental Health Awareness Month, I really wanted to kind of dive in with you as far as like, as I know you are a professional, football player in the NFL, and that's big. I want to congratulate you personally, because I don't think I ever did. And that's
It's all good. Thank you.
But I wanted to ask, how do you mentally prepare yourself for games, or not even just games, but like being in the public eye?
When it comes to the game aspect, a lot of people think it's just you running around doing, everything that God gave you, the physical ability, whether it's strength or speed. But I mean, 90% of the game is mental. Like, people always ask why we have so many meetings going on outside of practice. Well, the meetings is for scouting the other teams, seeing what they're going to do, how they're going to line up, some of their favorite plays and stuff. So without having that mental ability and the capacity to stay in that range while you're playing, then you won't be able to play professional. And some people don't understand that. But as far as, just going through the day, normal life, it's kind of stressful at times, to where, sometimes you don't have that type of guidance or somebody to talk to in some type of times. But for me, I kind of, when I get into my mental headspace, whether it's good or bad, I kind of sit to myself and try to talk it out and figure it out on my own before I ask for any other help. But I know, especially with men nowadays, mental health is something serious, and a lot of people, you don't have that guidance or, like I said, somebody to talk to. So that's just how I go along with it.
I think that's really important what you said as far as sitting in how you feel. A lot of times I feel like we don't really sit in how we feel. We just kind of like keep moving. And the more that we keep moving and we push, that under the rug, the more it feels like it builds up. So like when something drastic happens, it just feels like that's the end. Like it's the end. Like I'm never going to get anywhere. Like this is just going so horribly, but mentally you have put you in a state of mind where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It feel like I'm just tugging back and forth. Like, what am I going to do? So I think it was powerful that you said, like, just really sitting in how you feel. I feel like, as a woman, we get different perspectives. Like we just think, men are just so strong. They don't show any emotion. But for you to say that just really goes to show that men have emotions too.
Definitely. It'd be times where I want to just, break down and give up on it all. But I know for one, like I got a family who's dependent on me. So I can't give up that. And not alone with the family. I got to do it for myself. I set goals every week. And if I don't pass those goals or, get at least close to them, then I feel like I failed myself. And that's one thing I refuse to do is give up on myself. So like you said, that's definitely a big thing for me.
So with that being said, what is some of the things that you do as a male, as a black male in society? What do you do as far as like self-time before you even begin your day?
I wake up, first thing I do, after going to the bathroom, whatever, I thank God just for waking me up, giving me another chance to do what I love to do and just to still be alive on this earth. And another thing I do, like I said, I sit down and I go through the goals for each day that I want to obtain. And after that, with the football stuff, I get going, then I come down back to it and I look at my goals. Did I do this for practice? Or, did I drink this much amount of water. It's just different stuff, but that's something I definitely do.
I love that you said drinking a certain amount of water, because I feel like people don't understand how valuable just drinking water is. It's like, why are you not drinking enough water? It really energizes you in a way you don't think it does, but it really does, like change a lot in your body for real. As far as skin, just, sometimes your well-being, I feel like water, people don't think it's just water. It's like, no, if you're drinking all that juice over there, then you're feeling real sluggish. It's like, that's not, you're not mapping it out correctly.
People don't understand. Listen, I'm a avid water drinker. Like, we go out to a restaurant and get something to eat, I'm gonna get me a water with lemon.
Amen. Water with lemon. If I don't do nothing else, I'm having water with lemon, like, for sure. That's
every time.
That's all I'm doing. My next question to you is, what was it like in that moment when you got drafted? Like, what were your emotions?
So I mean, it was bittersweet. Let's say I'll never forget this day. It was my senior year. I think we had like a month of school left. And at my school, I went to Wofford in South Carolina, and at the time, we had the biggest weekend on campus. It's called Spring Weekend, and that's when everything goes, like, just a bunch of partying, having fun, blah blah whatever. But I know I couldn't, have too much fun because I knew that day it was coming. Right. So at 7:30, before I even woke up, I remember the Chargers. Now they're the Los Angeles Chargers, used to be San Diego, but they called and woke me up and was like, today is the day. Stay by your phone. Stay ready. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Next thing you know, my agent called me. He's like, who have you talked to about this and that? And then like 7, 8 more teams called. But I had been in contact with the Titans for about a month before this even happened. They stayed in contact with me the longest. Then the Falcons called, and I'm a big Falcons fan. Like, Michael Vick is my favorite player ever growing up. So it was always a dream, actually going to play for the Falcons. And I had the opportunity, but like I said, I'm a big guy on loyalty. And I feel like the Titans, they talked to me the most and they showed the most interest in me. So that's why I ended up going. And that day, it was amazing. Like, I broke down in tears, of course, tears of joy, because at the time I was 21, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to graduate college, graduated high school, no felonies, nothing. And I accomplished my goals as so young. So it was big for me. It was big for my family, especially everybody around me showing me support. I loved every moment of it.
How do you feel having to be like the stepping stone, as in for your family, because that's big. You're in the NFL, like, that's really big for your family. How do you feel like you model, like, what do you do in your everyday life to show them that it's possible?
I mean, we from Chattanooga, you know what I'm saying? It ain't a lot of people who can do it, but if I can do it, why can't somebody else? That's just how I look at it. Right. I'm a grown man, there's other grown men in this world. We put our pants on the same way. So I just look at it that way. Like, I know I'm not the best right now, but I'm determined to be the best. So if I want to be the best, I look at the best. And, what does he do off the field that may, make sure his body is right or whatever it takes. But as far as, just being somebody to look up to, I got 4 nieces and nephews. I don't care what nobody else think in this world. But if they telling me I'm doing wrong, then I know I'm doing something wrong. But I really, that's probably the most important who I do it for. And just to have them looking up to me, it means the world. And then just going back to East Ridge, it's not a lot of, like I said, there's not a lot of people who make it from our city, but just going back there and having all the kids look up to me, asking me same questions like, what do you do? Or, how can I do this? How can I do that? And I just love giving back, whether it's small critical details or it could just be anything, just life advice. I'm just happy to be that person that, they can come to.
Oh, that's so good. I feel like that's really important to actually go back to your city, because it's like, I don't want to forget where I came from. And I think that was me, where I struggled, was like, once I got out of Chattanooga, it was like, okay, I'm gone. That's it. But then it was like, no, like, this really put a space in your life that changed you, as in your environment, because like you said, it's not a lot of people that make it out of Chattanooga, but it's really important to showcase like how important it is. Even though I have left the city, that don't mean I'm leaving the city in full. Like, I'm still keeping that impact going, because it's people that are looking up to me now, like, wow, they went to a different space in their life, but they're still like gravitating towards, I'm all for my city. So I think that's really powerful that you went back. And how was that feeling, just going back and seeing like where you came from?
It was, I mean, like I said, it's bittersweet. Like, so for instance, once I left the Titans for a while, I actually came back and I actually started coaching at East Ridge for about 2 months maybe. And just to give those kids the knowledge and the passion that I have for the game. Like, when I used to go to their practices before I started coaching, it was a lot of different. Like, they didn't have nobody to look up to. Of course, they had coaches there, but a lot of those coaches had never been to the league. Like, so for instance, at East Ridge history, I'm the second person to ever go Division I, and I'm the first to ever actually make it in the league. So that was big for them to actually, just to see somebody who's made it, who's been there, who's been in their shoes, who walked those halls, took the same class, the same teachers. So like I said, it was a joy moment for me, just being able to speak to them, and they actually soak that knowledge and take their passion to the field as well.
I think it's so crazy looking at where we were in high school, as far as like we've been knowing each other for forever. So it's like just seeing you grow. I just want to say that you are an inspiration to me, regardless of you being a male or not. It's just the fact that how passionate you are. Like, just hearing you from back then, it's like, wow, the passion in your voice is really like eye opening, because it's just like, wow, like to see somebody really living in purpose and doing what they love, plus being on a team that you always dreamed of being on, like that's like all the above, like butter, like wow.
It's still, I wouldn't say it's shocking because I prayed for it, I dreamed of it, and I'm living it now. But it's definitely still kind of crazy to me. But like I said, if I can do it, so can the next man.
All right, so if you had three things that you could say about yourself as an entire slogan, what would it be? Like, as in what you are all about?
Honestly, I can only put it this one way: God, family, football. That's just in the order that I live by. God will be the head of my household regardless of what's going on. I wouldn't be here without him, and I can't thank him enough. And family, family is very important. And when I say family, I don't mean just blood related. I mean, if I care about you and I consider you a friend in your family, I love you regardless. And like I said, football, that's my main mindset every day I wake up. It's just those three things in that order. Even though I'm playing football, every day or whatever, I got to thank God. And I also think about who I'm doing it for. And then this next is to actually putting that in motion, living it. So yeah, that's me, God, family, football.
You know what's crazy is I think it was a movie that I watched before that Best Man Holiday one. He basically said the same thing. Even though it was a movie, it's still like the connection, like as far as like God, family, football, like putting that first is everything. And I think that's important that you said that, because it's like a lot of males really have to remember putting God first, and then like your family is like all in that order, regardless of if you're playing football or whatever your career is. It's really like in that order. It really, like, even me as a woman, that has to be first. And I think that's really important to say that, like, for real.
Not only just saying it, live by it. A lot of people, they might say this and do another thing. I'm not here to judge you, but that's what you do. That's what you do. But I know with me, that's definitely something I live by.
If you had one quote that you have taken with you your entire career, what's something?
Let's see. Oh, it's kind of actually my newest tattoo on my chest is Philippians 1:29. Your pain has a purpose. Um, I just look back on everything that I've been through my whole life, whether it was, death or getting cut or just anything. God would put too much on you that you can't handle.
Right.
And tough times don't last, but tough people do. So I believe in that. Your pain has a purpose.
I think one of my main quotes that really like stuck with me is mean what you say and say what you mean and mean what you say. And I always stick by that because it's like, if I'm saying something, I want to live by that. I don't want to just say it just to say it. Like you said, mean what you say. So if you're saying like, I'm all about God, I'm doing, God's work, plus I'm doing what I want to do in life, the main thing is targeting, you have to do what you say. You can't just, you can talk a good talk, but when it comes down to it, you just have to be willing to do it. Regardless of, like you said, we think that so much being tossed on us means we can't handle it, but God knows that we can handle it, regardless of everything that's falling apart. And you're just like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. You're going to get through it. So I think overall, just this month, mental health, really just engaging in yourself and really taking that self time, not even just self time, but really doing a lot of reflection is like the key to everything. Just really doing a lot of self reflection. I think also what's been really empowering to me is sitting in how I feel and really understanding how I'm feeling. And you said that earlier in the show, like really just sitting in how you feel. And I'm just like, wow, that's something I've been doing lately. And I just been like, wow, that's really been a game changer for me. Because a lot of times I just like, okay, well, maybe I can think about it later. It's like, no, you need to think about it now, because it's going to keep processing in your mind. And the more that it processes, it's going to change the way you think. And the more it changes the way you think, you just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. So if I had to ask you, what does mental health mean to you, what would you say?
Especially in today's society, how things are going on, mental health is big. You see a lot of what's the word I'm looking suicides happening. And I think a big part of that is due to people, like I said, not having, somebody to talk to, or, explain what they're going through, what they're thinking about, how they're feeling in that type of moment. So, especially like I said, nowadays it's huge. And I feel like, especially with men, they need to find somebody to confide in, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely big in the world today.
Who do you confide in?
I knew this was coming. I knew this was coming. Like I said, for one, I sit and I talk to God. Some people get talking to God and praying to God. It's the same thing. No, it's totally different. Right. That's number one. And then, like I said, I sit and I talk to myself for a while. And then if not, my godmom and my aunt, they're the most important women in my life right now. And, they're always willing to give advice, whether it's just sitting and listening, and then, giving their aspect on what they think I should do, or, actually giving the right advice, what needs to be done, and not what I want to do. So that's who I go to most definitely.
What's the best advice they have given you?
The best advice? That's tough because they're both wise. My aunt, she's in the business, so she understands all the aspects I'm going through. And my godmom, she's just everything you can ask for, right, and somebody to look up to. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is just, worldwide would just be respect. Treat others how you want to be treated. I know we've heard that our whole lives, but growing up, it actually means a lot. Going back to when I was with the Titans, our head coach used to say, treat the janitors or the equipment managers, treat everybody the same. Like, treat them how you would treat me, because they're human at the end of the day. And they deserve that respect, because you want respect for them. So I think respect, goes a long way. So I think that's probably, just one of the daily advice I get from them.
All right, so on the last segment, I asked you to talk to yourself in 2023. So you can kind of just look at the camera and talk to JoJo in 2023.
Okay, JoJo to JoJo in 2023. Um, you've been fighting your whole life. What's new now? Continue. Growth is something that you want. You want to reach that 7-figure deal. You got to go get it. Um, your pain has a purpose. It's only one way, and that's up. Don't get too much down on yourself. Don't get too high on yourself. Stay in control. Control what you can control, and just do what you got to do.
And last thing, what would you say to the audience who are listening right now? Anything that you want to say to them? Any advice or anything that you just feel on your heart to say?
Keep going. Whatever you're going through, like I said, God wouldn't put it on you if He didn't think you can handle it. Just make sure you're staying ahead of the game, whether that's in life, taking care of your family, or making sure that business meets whatever quota you got, whatever it may be. Just keep going. Don't give up. You got it.
I think that's some good advice. I want to thank you so much for being a guest today. We've been trying to do this for so long, but I do appreciate you for taking the time out. I know we both got some pretty busy schedules, but we made it happen. Even though the hotel was doing things with you, I'm like, but I'm like, we got to get this interview in. So I'm so glad.
I was so determined. I was like, listen, we've been planning for this long, and then we finally get it set. And it seemed like something always happened every time.
Right.
But I want to thank you as well. I know you as Tess.
Right.
A lot of people know the Lamekkiona. It was a time I couldn't even call you that when we was younger.
Yes, you used to call me Tess or Tessa. I'm like, oh.
But I just want to thank you for having me, and I hope everybody who's tuned in actually pays attention to what you're doing, because what you're doing is important. Especially around our age, a lot of people don't take stuff like this serious. So thank you for having me again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of I Am Beautifully Broken. Thank you guys for all you guys' continuous support. And y'all go make sure you follow JoJo on his pages. He is don't be sliding into his DM with them, crazy things. Because I'm going to come after y'all. Don't be trying to get his money and stuff. Because why are you dating anyone?
I am, yeah.
He dating somebody, so leave him alone. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Bye, y'all.